Shelter. This is Friday, July 17th, trail day 35, I believe. Stayed here last night. There was no one else at the shelter. So around 11 o'clock, I just hung my hammock between that post and that beam. And then it rained all morning, so it's right at 12 o'clock. I'm about packed up to get started. I have a 12.4 mile day to get to the Pochuck Mountain Shelter. I hear the terrain's pretty nice between here and there. It's a good section that goes around the lake, so should make good time. And there's also a pizza place right off the trail. I'm going to check that place out for sure. It's like pizza by the slice, so I'll probably grab a couple slices and pack out a couple slices for when I get to the shelter, because it will probably be dark or close to it. My bee stings, I don't know if you can tell, the back of my hand's pretty swollen. My foot seems to be alright. It's sore right there at the bee sting, but not really any swelling to it. And it may just be because I walked on it before I got here, and then when I lay in my hammock, my feet are elevated. So anyway, the foot's the most important, and it's feeling alright, but we'll wait till we get a pack on and start hiking and see. But yeah, that's the plan. Make it to that next shelter and the pizza place. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, here at the High Point Shelter, there is a resident mouse. He was running around in here last night before I went to bed, so I just put my pack and everything over in the bear box, which is right over there. And there was a mama coon and 6 babies. It was the funniest thing. I was sitting in here, and I heard her start growling at me, and I had my headlamp on red, and I flipped it over the headlight beam, and she was like literally 8 feet away from me, and they all ran away. But then 20 minutes later they came back, and I had to run them off because, I mean, they were about to come up in the shelter with me. So kind of funny. I got a picture of them. It's kind of blurry, it's at night, but still kind of cool. So it looks like we're at the Ferguson Road. So this mile marker is 13:43.9. And we left at 13:40.6. So it's what, 3 miles, 3.3 miles. And it's 10 minutes to 2. So not bad. Only got 9 miles to go. So we might get there before dark tonight, even though we left late. The terrain's been nice. The trail, that's where we just come up a little uphill, a little section, but for the most part it's been flat. The foot has given me no problems. The hand, even though it's swollen, I mean, I'm not putting quite as much pressure on the trekking pole that I normally do, but it's not really giving me an issue. So been following along these rock hog walls. That may be why New Jersey's not as rocky as Pennsylvania. I've collected all the rocks and piled them up to make these walls. This is kind of interesting. There's a wall on each side. I can tell you a lot of time and effort went into putting all these together. I think I'm gonna take a short pack off break. I got some tea mixed in my bottle. There's a lot of water crossings today, so I didn't bother putting any in my hydration bladder. I just figured I'd stop for a short pack off break from time to time. We'll start back hiking shortly. So this is kind of cool. We're walking across fields, but the trail hugs the side, and the time of day we have shade. If we'd have come through early this morning, the sun was over there, we'd have been in the sun. Or maybe later in the day we'd have been in the sun. Let's see. We're currently, even though we're going north on the Appalachian Trail, traveling south. So magnetic west is to my right. So yeah, if we'd have got through here earlier today, we'd be in the sun. Yesterday afternoon, so far you couldn't ask for a better section of trail. And that rocky stuff yesterday wouldn't have been bad, except for the fresh hornet stings. And it could just be my perception, but it seems like, so far, I go downhill more than I go uphill. I'm always thinking, like if I was going southbound, I'd be having to climb this. But I'm sure southbounders think the same stuff. How about the hills that we climb going north? I know they have that if you hike the entire trail, you have the elevation gain of climbing Mount Everest like 16 times. I wonder if that applies both ways, or which way would have the most elevation. There's a little pond over there. Looks like it's covered in duckweed. So it's definitely not a swimming pond. Yeah, we're gonna walk right by the pond. You hear the frogs. I bet at dusk dark, the frogs are in perfect harmony out here, along with the buzz of a million mosquitoes. That is one thing that New Jersey lacks, the rocks, but it sure doesn't lack the mosquitoes. There's a bunny rabbit in the trail. I was wondering how close he'd let me get. Everything has this comfort zone. He didn't go very far. He's right there in the shade. You should be able to see him. Yeah, run away. Man, this trail today has just been wonderful. By the time I get to the mountains, I'm going to be so spoiled with this flat, no effort trail. I'm not going to know how to act. Well, it's a few minutes after 3, and I haven't checked the mileage. I get to a reference point, another one, and then I'll check it. I think we're doing pretty good so far. Actually, it looks like it's a road. I think I may have looked at it wrong on the road earlier and been a road ahead of myself. So if it sounded like I did like too many miles in a short period of time, that's why. Let's see, this is paved road. This is Gimmer Road, 1344.5. So we've been 4 miles. Yeah. 3 more to go to the pizza place, which is kind of off in the road a little bit, but it says they're open till 10 o'clock, so we shouldn't have any problems getting a pizza slice. Or 4. Or maybe a whole pizza. We walked through a field a little bit ago, had those wooden things built because it was wet, muddy, and it sure was humid too, man. All that water evaporating up out through that grass. Whew. It's like, you probably can't see it, but all this has got water droplets on it. And when the sun hits it and it starts evaporating, it just heats the air. Whew, makes it so thick and sticky. My right ankle is still feeling good. It's a little bit of tender, but nothing to worry about. My left foot with the bee sting, it pretty much feels normal. My left hand with the bee sting, it's not really bothering me, but it is still swollen. And my hip belt has been holding as of late. It does loosen a little, but it's not like loosening the way it was. So, but my Chacos they're getting slick. I've noticed a couple times this morning, I stepped on a couple things and my foot kept going. So I'm gonna have to address that. Get in somewhere and get a new pair. And I think that's about it. And I may get some water right here, and then I'm moving on. So we just conquered the first climb of the day. And here's a nice duckweed covered pond. I haven't come across a swimming pond yet. I think that one Crater Lake could have swum in it. The one that I didn't see a marked sign to it. But we'll come across one sooner or later, I hope. And then if I'm reading the guide correctly, another little uphill, and then a downhill and a flat, and then one little uphill before you get to Unionville, New York. So it's almost 4:30. This day is taking a little longer than I anticipated, but it seems to happen a lot. I'm not doing bad today, but I think this is 10 or 11 days straight hiking. It's starting to catch up with me. So I've only got 1, maybe 2 days worth of food. So when I get to the shelter tonight, I'll start looking at options on taking the day off and getting a resupply, possibly a new pair of shoes, and depending where I find to get the shoes, even though the hip belt's holding up good at the moment, if they have packs, I might see about swapping them out. Somebody's recently been out here doing some brush trimming. Otherwise, this would be an interesting little section of trail. If it was in Florida, you'd expect a frog just jumped at me. You'd expect an alligator or something to come out of it. The boards are good and sturdy. And this just goes on for a while. I just climbed that hill, and now I'm going downhill to Unionville Road, and it's like 0.4 to the pizza joint and a store, and it says something about tenting, I don't know, reserving at the store. So I may do something like that. I know I'm about out of gas, and there's still 5 miles to the shelter, which, if I have some pizza and a couple of drinks, I might be alright to get there. Looks like there's a camp spot right there. But yeah, I may just stay in Unionville for the night if I can find a shower and that good stuff. We shall see. I know I'm the most undecisive planned individual you'll probably ever see. I just have options constantly running through my head and just go with whatever at the moment. It's almost 6 o'clock. I took a break before climbing the hill. I've taken several breaks today. It's just been a break day. I'm always nervous about going into town and restaurants. I know people can smell you from 12 feet away. But it's part of it. And I suppose all these places along the trail are used to it. I know the gyps that I went to the other day, the owner was just like, oh, take your bag and go right on through. And like it was no thing, so. And another thing, the shelter is 5 miles away. So it's not too bad, but it's had a really steep climb, like right at the end of it, like the last half mile. And you have to get your water at the bottom of that hill. So that means toting extra water weight up the hill. And carrying extra water is never no fun. But we'll see how it goes. See what we're going to do here shortly. So we made it to Unionville Road. Trail goes the other side of the bridge. But we're going this way to town. Kind of a cool little pond. A little chipmunk. So the section hikers that were at the shelter last night just came out behind me. And apparently the secret shelter when I crossed, I don't think I videoed it, but across the gravel road, and there was a sign on the tree that said well water 100 yards trail west, and apparently you go around the corner and then that's it. So I missed out on that. That's too far back down the trail. But he did say that he thought the pizza place here delivered pizza there, so we might could get a ride. I don't know. We shall see. So we are leaving Unionville, headed to the Chacos Mountain Shelter, 5 miles north. Had a Gatorade and a soda at the general store, Mountain Dew, and then a Pepsi and some pizza and a big Caesar salad there at Annabelle's Pizza. I was going to go to the secret shelter, but I couldn't figure out exactly how to get to it. I tried looking online and couldn't find like driving directions. They said at the general store you just go out of town, but the road splits and she couldn't say exactly what way out of town. So anyway, I'm going to do some night hiking. It's 5 miles, it's 8:45, so should get there before midnight. And then maybe we can get up at a decent time tomorrow and get into Vernon, New Jersey and take the night off there. And it's only like 6 miles from the shelter, something like that. So that'll be the plan for now. Oh, one last note, we're about to get on the trail. They do allow camping at the park. What they told me at the store, they had removed the porta potty and all that stuff. I think it's free camping, but I did walk over to the park. They didn't really have anything. It's in that chain link thing, kind of open. They didn't have anything really. It was just like one spot I could have hung my hammock. But the porta potty and all was there. I didn't check to see if it was locked, but that is still an option. But the store was closed by the time I got done eating my salad, so oh well. Hike on. We'll get to our goal anyway. So we went around the Waskill River, I think, preserve. I don't know if any of this is showing up, but then it turns out into the woods. I've been walking on these wooden plank things for quite a while. So I'm almost up here to the road crossing where I think the abandoned house is at with the water. And then we have half a mile, 500 foot uphill. So I'm always thirsty when I get to camp. I'm gonna drink some water before I go up the hill, but can't drink too much. Depending on how much effort I put into the hill, I'll lose the water on the way. But I'll be hauling at least 3, if not more, liters up a hill. And it's almost 11:30. Ooh, what a long day. But we got some miles in, even though we started late and spent some time in town. I thought it'd be cooler being dark, but I've been pouring sweat the whole time. It's crazy. Somebody put a lot of time into putting down these walk planks. They just go forever. Fresh spring water. So I'm assuming this is the vacant house at Chacos Mountain. I gotta get water at before I go up the hill. So this ain't it. I got the Through Hiker's Companion by the ATC. It says there's a side trail north of the road crossing. A little bit more information than what the AWOL guide had. That's alright. We like to just walk around in the dark. Either way, if you're in the area and you need to fill jugs 50 cents a gallon, there you go. Alright, we're back at the AT at the bottom of Pochuck Mountain. And we're going to go up this a little ways and see if we can't find this water source. And I hope I don't have to climb this half-mile mountain without finding water, because that's going to suck. But it would be just my luck. Okay, so we got to the top of that steep hill. There's a post with 3 blue blazes and a trail. That's what we just came up, if you can see it. So this should go to the vacant house. Going through the gate, the driveway probably does the same thing. I'm going to have to start referring to the Thru Hiker's Companion more often, because it had a listing for the secret shelter too, which is kind of a good thing. I didn't find the secret shelter. I'd have been there tonight, way behind where I needed to be. Yeah, that led to the house, and here's a spigot. So I'm gonna water up and then go climb a hill. Woohoo! Alright, so I chugged a liter, filled a 2-liter C-Knock, 1-liter Smart Water bottle, and put like 2 more liters in my bucket so I can wash the grime off. Oh, joy, joy. And it's 12:15. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, at least I don't have to cook dinner. But I knew I would want water when I got up in the morning. And I knew I'd want something when I got there. So, it is what it is. That was a heck of a steep, rocky climb. But I do believe we're at the top. Or well, in the middle, where the shelter's at. I was regretting toting all this water for a minute, but I'm going to down another liter when I get to camp. Whew. Yep, shelter, 0.1 west. So the day is over and it's 12:35. But overall, I say it was a good day. And we'll pick up tomorrow.